Hey everyone, how are you? It's your Sunday night show. Sunday nights with Ping. How are you all in the chat? Nana Lana's here. She's confused about the time. You're not the only one. I'm confused about time too. So our show's going to, well, not for you guys, but for me, it's going to move. Tonight we're just doing 10 p.m. to help everyone out because if you're in America, for most of the states, you lost a night of sleep last night. So I was trying to give you guys an extra hour of rest. If you are here, the time moved. So tomorrow, when we go at our normal 9 p.m. time, if you're in Australia, the show will actually be at midday, not 1 p.m. anymore. It moves back by 1 hour, and we're going to go a little earlier in the day. How are you all? Hey, Nanalana, DJ. Laura T is here. Burnt popcorn. I hate mornings. Laura G. Laura T. Who else is here? Juniper's here, and so is Edget. Gambler made it, and so did Kim and Nancy S. Marlene Clausen and Retired RN. Oh, she says, it's been a while since I could make a live. Oh, glad you could make it. Marlene's here too. Hey, Marlene. And Marilyn Landis. Good to have you all. Lynn D's here. Mamma Mia. Glad you could all make it. Are you all watching the Oscars right now? I would be surprised. Didn't John Cena come out naked or something? Charisma. Hey, Charisma. How are you, my friend? It is nice to see you. All right. I don't know. Everyone left comments on yesterday's video like an hour ago. It's like everyone caught up just tonight. Hey, Cheryl Huffman. All right. Let me get set up. Let's talk about Swetha. There we go. See, I can say it. Swetha. She is the murdered woman who had her body dumped in a wheelie bin, in a garbage bin. The story is developing across 2 continents right now. Yeah, he came out naked on stage at the Oscars, apparently. You guys didn't see this? Hold on, I can show you before we get started. Okay. Yeah. Here you go. There's John Cena coming across the stage, only holding a plank of wood or something. Or is that, I don't know what that is, an envelope to announce a winner? How's he going to do that? There you go. There's John Cena walking across the Oscars. I can't show too much more than that. We'll get copyrighted. But yeah, there you go. If you didn't see that at the Oscars, you can watch the full clip on the Oscars website. So there, yes, Swetha Madhagani was found, dead inside this wheelie bin, what we call a wheelie bin down here, or a rubbish bin to you people in other parts of the world, or a garbage bin. What a horrible story. Now, there's some information that came out overnight down here. It says the husband of a young mother whose body was found stuffed inside a wheelie bin on an isolated road in Victoria flew to India with their son and handed him to in laws before disappearing, according to Indian police. Now, Indian police are saying they can't really do anything right now because no one has made a formal complaint to them. They're saying no one's come forward and said a crime has been committed. So, as far as they're concerned, there's nothing they need to really do. And they're saying, until that happens, well, what do you want us to do? They're saying basically that's it. So the Indian police spokesman said, as per the details with us, her husband visited the mother in law, the deceased mother, a few days ago and handed him his son. After that, he left. No one from the family has registered any complaint against anyone yet. They said, we will help in investigations if someone approaches us. As of now, we don't know where he is, as we are not investigating the case without any complaint. Victorian police said her husband has not been confirmed. Or no, they're saying they would not confirm if her husband is a suspect or if it will be seeking extradition from India. The Australian Federal Police said it was aware of the investigation. Police have been contacted for comment. So far, no comment. On Monday, former homicide detective Charlie Bezina, he's in every article, said it was clearly suspicious that her husband had fled overseas to India, and then he has contacted family members to alert them to where the wheelie bin is containing his wife's body. He said he is certainly a significant person of interest, and it may not be too long before they issue a warrant of apprehension. They will then be dealing with our government to deal with the Indian government in an effort to locate him in India with a view to see what he has to say about it, and hopefully the end game would be to extradite him back to Victoria. Yeah, apparently he contacted family members back here in Victoria once he got to India to tell them where her body was and to notify them that she'd been killed. So apparently his family members down here in Victoria are urging him to return to Australia and deal with this mess and to provide more information on his wife's death. It's a very horrible situation, and I can't imagine the poor police and people that had to deal with that situation, opening that bin. Oh, Marilyn Landis is lucky to be alive after front end car collision last night. Wasn't my fault. Airbags deployed. Oh, how horrible. So yeah, I think this case may really go into overdrive in the next few days, and we'll see what is going to happen going forward. I reckon we might get a bigger statement from local police. Maybe tomorrow. It's a public holiday down here today. I wouldn't expect anything today, but maybe Tuesday, since everyone's back at work, we'll hear a bit more. I'm just trying to see here if there's any. There's another story on it if I can find it. Hold on. There was some more information about her body, and they said that it had been tied up with string inside the bin. It says the husband of a woman whose body was found in a wheelie bin has reportedly returned to India with their son and dumped the boy with his mother-in-law. It says Swetha Madhagani, 30, was found dead inside a green wheelie bin on Mount Pollock Road in Buckley, 108 kilometres southwest of Melbourne, at about 12 p.m. on Saturday. I was trying to find. There was a bit here that they were describing the bin. There's a photo of the alleged victim, unfortunately. What a lovely looking lady. It says here Victoria Police said in a statement on the mother's death, it is believed the parties are known to one another and the offender may have fled overseas. Friends have described her as a great mom and perfect mom that lived for her son, often inviting people over to share food and be a part of the community that she was in. Apparently, she was very social with her neighbors and other people with children and stuff like that. But that's not the one I was looking for. Where is it? Let me try and find it for you all. Maybe it was a Sky News one. Let me try and figure this out. Let's see. Yeah, 7 News understands police were tipped off by an anonymous call in the morning and found the body stuffed inside a wheelie bin and tied with a string. That's an interesting little detail. Tied with a string? That's what do you mean? The bin was tied shut or the found the body stuff? Oh no, her body was tied with string. Right, geez. It says a second crime scene believed to be connected to the death was established at the home of Madhagani and her husband in Point Cook, about 84 kilometers away by the afternoon. And they said investigators believe those involved are known to one another and that the offender has fled overseas. I think we all understand at this stage because
Some attribute
he hasn't been charged or, you know, put as a person of interest, but I think we can all sort of see, at least from the details we have right now, the way this story is shaping out. And it's awful. It really is. I mean, dumping the baby with its in-laws as soon as you get to India, that's a little odd. Hey, Potter, how are you? Good to see you. Yeah, dumped the yeah, that was not my wording, that's their wording. Thank you, Sienna. Yeah, but she does have nice clothes. I'm just trying to see if you guys have anything. Hey, Peekaboo Cockatiel. Horrible Marylanders. So I'm gonna actually tell you a little story for a second. This morning I was asleep and my intercom rang and I was like, who the hell's waking me up on a public holiday? I was like, please let me sleep in. I'm tired. I don't want to get woken up by someone with the intercom. Anyway, they rang again and I got up. I was like, oh, it must be urgent. So I got up, answered the intercom, and it was some British guy. And he's like, "Oh, hi, mate. I'm just here. I'm looking for a lost earpods or something." And I was like, "All right." And he's like, "Oh, can you just let me in? I just want to find like where they are. Someone's obviously picked them up and taken them home and hasn't handed them in yet." And I was like, "Oh, yeah, sure, whatever." I was half asleep. And then all of a sudden I hear yelling and they're yelling at this apartment door on the other side, and he's like, open the door, give me the thing or whatever." And I was like, what the hell's going on? And anyway, the cops turned up. About 10 minutes later, the police turned up. Police separated them and sent the couple, I don't know if it was his daughter and the dad, or that was his girlfriend or something, I don't know. But they sent them in an opposite direction and said, "You stay down there. We'll talk to the homeowner." Something happened, and then there was more angry, disruptive talk from the British couple, and then everyone left. So I don't know if they got their iPod back or whatever, but yeah, looking for AirPods, he said that they lost them and that when they tracked them on the iPhone, they were in this building. And then they tracked it to a door in the building. And then apparently the people inside that apartment would not give them back. So, or they said they didn't have them, but apparently it did track to that apartment. So, police got involved and I don't know. Don't know. They all left. And about 15 minutes later, cops had a talking to the people inside. I did see that they opened up and spoke to the police. But yeah, I don't know if they got their stuff back or not. Sounds fishy. I thought that at first too, and I was like, I ain't letting you in here. And then I can't remember what he said. He said something that made it more convincing. And I was like, well, I'll keep an eye on it. And I just kept an eye on him. And I was like, well, if he does something sketchy, I'll be able to see it and I'll kick his ass out. But no, he just went and knocked on the door, that's all. The door was open anyway, they coulda just walked in. The side door was open, so they coulda just walked in anyway. It didn't matter whether I buzzed him in or not, but our doors are often open during the day, so I'm not sure what it was, but I don't know if it was his daughter's iPod or something, but I'm guessing what happened is this: they were probably out last night, and they were probably drinking, and they probably dropped it. They probably dropped it somewhere and someone's picked it up. That's what I don't think someone's taken it or pinched it from them. I think that's probably what's happened. Kim68 says a lady up the road got left with 6 grandkids. The baby only 9 days old. I stepped in to help for a few days. 4 years later, I couldn't. Wow, that's horrible. Yeah, it's very sad, isn't it? The fact that he took the kid all the way to India though, and then took him to the um like, he didn't give them to family in Australia, he took them all the way back to India with him. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what happened in the end. I don't know if they did end up getting them back or they didn't get them back, but I know the police came down and spoke to that couple, and then there was some sort of angry, "Rah," and then the police were like, "Yeah, calm down. We'll figure it out." And then they all just sort of got up and left. So, that was my morning. My morning was being woken up from police and some dude looking for iPods or AirPods or whatever you call it. I don't know. I was looking up online. Apparently, it's pretty. The GPS in those little earphones are very precise. So, all right, let's keep going. Yeah, I was just about to talk about that. After we got off Swetha, I was going to talk about this little missing boy out of Sydney, but that's really good that they found him. That's great news. There was I'll show you quickly and then we'll talk a bit more about Swetha. Where is it? Where is it? Missing boy from Sydney. Yeah. His name is Hussein Al Mansouri. So here is it says missing in Auburn, Sydney. Boy disappeared in just a nappy and a t-shirt. Boy 12 missing since Saturday morning. Was last seen in Auburn, Sydney's west. He's a 12-year-old boy with Down syndrome and autism. Was wearing just a nappy and t-shirt and no shoes when he disappeared from a park in Sydney's west 2 days ago. It says Hussein Al Mansouri, aged 12, was last seen running from Auburn Memorial Park towards the intersection of Station Street and Rawson Street, Auburn, at about 12:30 a.m. on Saturday. Here's the last photo they had of him. So he's gone on a bit of a run. He's having a bit of a jog apparently. But I'm glad they have found him. Well, apparently it says anyone looking for Hussein has, however, been told not to call out his name or approach him, as it's feared that may disturb him and cause him to run off again. Music is also being used by volunteers to try catch Hussein's attention, which police said he's fond of. I'm glad they found the little boy. I mean, he's very at risk, considering his conditions and, you know, the way he's dressed right now. Let me see if I can find a story about him being found. Uh, what channel was this? Hold on, I'll check Twitter. It's probably on Twitter. Let me find. Yes, okay, I found a story. It's all good. It says police find missing 12-year-old boy Hussein Al Masuri in Auburn. Wow, he didn't go far, did he? A 12-year-old boy with autism has been found safe and well in Sydney's west more than 2 days after he went missing. It's hot in Sydney too, poor kid. It's real hot. Um, Hussein was last seen in Auburn, but that's yeah, good news. Another kid that got to go home. If only that would happen for Sebastian. That would be nice, right? Be nice to have another one resolved. But you see stuff like this. This little guy went missing in a very busy part of Sydney, Auburn. Auburn's a very busy suburb of Sydney. Very busy, very high density, has a lot of people. And you know, they found him. Sure, he went missing for a couple of days, but they finally tracked him down and got him home to his parents. Sebastian's been missing 2 weeks. 2 weeks he's been gone. And this one, they had sightings of him around Auburn too. But Sebastian, nothing. Not a sighting, not a, nothing on camera. This kid they got on camera. And I know it's a little bit different of a situation, but this kid they actually got on CCTV. I mean, that's what we were all hoping for with Sebastian. Look at this, something like that. That's a CCTV image of him, like when he was last seen. That's what he was wearing. So, you know, Sebastian's case makes me so worried that unlike this little fella, they might not bring him home. See, that's him at the train station. And he's very lucky he didn't fall on the tracks or something, but hopefully nice members of the community were able to, keep him safe until authorities found him. It says the boy was seen wandering alone in Auburn at the train station on Saturday. So there you go. That's a good news. Nice to have a kid go home and not to find a dead child. It's lovely. Oh, I think it was pretty hot. Let me see. Sydney was 30 degrees today. 31 tomorrow, 28, 31. I mean, it's in the 30s. It's pretty warm. Not as warm as what we are, but pretty hot. The boy is 12 years old. He suffers from autism, and he unfortunately, he has more medical conditions as well. So yeah, he's 12. Marilyn says, "Will they ever find him?" I don't know. I don't know. It's like Elijah Vu. Who knows? I think Elijah will be found shortly, like in the next couple of days. Not next couple of days, next couple of weeks. I think Elijah will be found. Um, Sebastian need more information. Need something like a break in the case. Need some little bit of hope or a lead to go in what direction. That's what we need. And so far, we don't have it. So maybe, hopefully, this week we will get a lead in Sebastian's case. I hope so. I'd like to see that, get some better news. Yeah, above 30 yesterday. Yep. OG woos. That's pretty funny. Okay. Hold on, guys. All right, sorry about that. Okay. Things just breaking? Sure. All right. Let's keep going. How are you all? Did you have a great Sunday? I hope you did. Let's get back to Swetha. I hope you enjoyed the Cold Justice episode last night and um the second late show I did provided a lot more context and information for you. That was, nice to be able to break that down a little more. And I hope they get the break in that case that they really deserve. I really do. All right, let's talk about Swetha a little more because I think this could really, really go into overdrive in the next 5 days or so, depending on what the Australian police request out of India and depending on the compliance of her husband, Ashok Raj Vakakupala. Is that how you pronounce his last name? I hope so. I hope they be able to figure out a amicable, non-extradition way to get him back to Australia. I hope so. So it says here, there's a photo of the both of them and their son. And there's a photo of her. Let me read this bit here. No, sorry, we're on the wrong article. Where's that Channel 7 one? Here. Yes, this one. So it says it's not known yet how long her body was on the side of the road or how it got there. It says neighbor Eric Lewis, who owns the adjoining property, told 7 News he was shocked by the grim discovery. He says, "I've never seen a wheelie bin laying in there, and I go up and down here quite often shooting rabbits. There might be 3 or 4 cars a day down here. That's all." Yeah, so he was saying that cars don't tend to travel down that road, this road here. He says it's pretty isolated, uh, you know, but if there was a bright green bin there, someone would have seen it. So it can't have been there for that long, maybe a day or two. Yeah, very disappointing. Let me play this little video for you. It's just a 30-second update.
Somber tributes are flowing this morning for a young mother, Swetha Madhagani, who was found in a wheelie bin west of Geelong. Her son and husband flew back to India before Victorian police were told that her body had been dumped in the quiet rural area.
There's might be 3 or 4 or 5 cars a day down here, that's all. It doesn't go anywhere down there. It's a dead end down that end.
Her husband is now under immense pressure from the family in Australia to return as the investigation continues. That is a terribly sad story.
Yep, there you go. Isn't that it's very sad, especially when we lose women in our society. Where's that link here? I'm going to show you another story. We did talk about it briefly last night, but since last night, more information has come out. Jeez. Okay. Um, I'm going to show you another story, and unfortunately, it's another woman who has been hurt, and I'm going to show you that now. Lux says shooting rabbits. Sorry, Lux. That's actually a pretty common country thing down here. Rabbits are considered an invasive species in Australia, and they're not exactly welcome. They eat native wildlife down here, and they destroy habitat for native animals in Australia. Marilyn says, I heard on another YouTube girl that they have DNA on a clip on a toilet behind the limb. Oh, that's BJ Cooper? DJ Cooper, what's his name? DB Cooper? DB Cooper? Yeah. They've been trying to get a hold of that necktie clip for years. They've been trying to get that DNA tested for ages. I know that's been a thing they've been trying to do for a while. Yeah, and there was a guy that actually confessed to it too many years ago on his deathbed. So, yeah, I'm well aware of the DB Cooper stuff. All right, let me get your next story loaded up. We spoke a little bit about this yesterday, but it was breaking news yesterday, and it wasn't as covered, and we have way more information now. Let me grab that story. Oh, Muffin, seriously. Muffin is being very naughty. Let's see, where is it? Where is it? Apparently my search stuff is not lining up properly. Hold on, guys. Hold on. Come on. Searchy thing. Let's go. Yeah. All right. Hold on. I might have to do this a different way. Okay. Found it. And we got a lot of Daily Mail today. I don't like doing that, but unfortunately, Australian cases tend to get most of a lot of the articles go through here. So it says, Carly Perinelli, dark past of young woman who stabbed her own mother, Joanne Perry, to death before being gunned down by cops is revealed as it emerges the pair once joked about what their graves would look like. Now, Carly, I'm going to show you something about Carly. I was able to dig something up from last year. All right. Young Melbourne woman Carly Perinelli charged with Kingsbury home invasion drug possession. A young Greensboro woman is in the frame for an alleged violent home invasion in Melbourne's north. There's her, same girl in the other article that killed her mum. It says a young Melbourne woman who allegedly stormed a home in Melbourne's north with violent intent has been nabbed by police. It says Carly Perinelli, 25, fronted Melbourne Magistrates Court on Tuesday, charged with home invasion. She allegedly entered a Kingsbury home as a trespasser in company with one or more other persons, while another person was inside the house on February 21st this year. That was actually last year. It's also alleged she entered the Lowell Avenue home with intent to assault a person. She was arrested and charged on February 21st, 2023. It says Devon Crime Investigation Unit members arrested her not long after the alleged home invasion. So she has a bit of a checkered history, and she was shot by police while she was stabbing her mother. Uh, Very strange. Here's her mum, Joanne Perry, who was the victim in this situation. And this is her daughter, who apparently was armed with a knife and would not drop the knife on command from police and kept plunging the blade into her poor mum. And they had to shoot her. I think they fired a few rounds, but only one hit the young girl. And unfortunately, she died at the scene. She did not survive, so her and her mother are no longer here. It says the young woman who stabbed her mother to death before being shot dead by police had a troubled past which included home invasion and drug charges. I just showed you the home invasion from last year. It says officers were called to Kett Street in Lower Plenty, 16 kilometers northeast of Melbourne CBD, about 6:30 p.m. on Friday. Following reports, Perinelli was trying to set her mother on fire. Upon arrival, officers said they were being challenged by Perinelli, who was armed with a knife and, despite being told to drop the weapon, continued to stab her mother's neck and torso region. It says Perinelli, who's been on bail for an unrelated matter and the subject of an apprehended violence order, was gunned down by a police officer and died at the scene. Very tragic case. It really is. There's her poor mum. It's really unfortunate. There's got to be more of a backstory here, and I don't know. Hopefully, I don't know if we'll find out. But here's a post they wrote a while ago, and it says, "How my grave will look," and obviously there's a whole bunch of marijuana plants. And then the daughter writes, "Next to your Cascade bottles and Mark's guitar," and the mum laughs at that comment. So some people in the comments were saying maybe they had a bit of a codependent relationship, one based on maybe Carly had some, substance abuse issues and the mum was a bit of a drinker, but I can't verify any of that. But as you can see here, there's an alcoholic beverage. I mean, adults can drink if they want to. We're not going to blame people for having a drink at a party, but we're just trying to look for some reasons of what could have gone wrong. There's another photo of mum and daughter at some sort of event. More alcoholic beverages. It says here, speaking about the shooting of Perinelli, Victorian Police Acting Superintendent Scott Colson said the officer was left with no other choice than to discharge his firearm. Something I found interesting about this is apparently these police did not have any tasers on them. And I was like, is that normal? Is that normal that they wouldn't have a taser? It's very interesting. Uh, It says police were confronted with the daughter stabbing the mother and have called on the daughter to drop the knife. However, she continued to stab the mother tragically. Both the mother and the daughter died on the scene. Neighbors said they heard multiple gunshots during the incident on the usually quiet street. It is understood other people were inside the home at the time of the fatal attack, but the triple O call came from neighbors. That's interesting. Here's a photo of the property. The Victorian Police said they're not looking for anyone in relation to the incident. Homicide Squad detectives will investigate the incident with oversight from the Professional Standards Command. That's basically like when police open fire, the whole thing gets reviewed by another party within Victorian Police, and just to make sure that everything was followed correctly, and they're not firing for no reason. That says Miss Perry is the 17th woman killed in Australia this year and the fourth to be slain this month alone. It says there have been 2 femicides a week since the year began. Very sad case, very tragic. Mother and daughter gone from this world. It is might need a bit of a trigger warning. You're right. Like says, I could never go to a place where bunnies aren't welcome. People have them as pets. There's just certain places in Australia where you can't have them, like Queensland. Queensland, they're illegal. You cannot have rabbits or ferrets in Queensland. It's actually illegal. you can get fined like $70,000 for having one. Yes. Hey, Leisha, how are you? Marylander says they look like sisters. They do a little bit. They do. I think we will find out. They're probably going to do a coronial inquest into this at some point, and we will find out more when they do that. All right. Shall we move on? I've covered the Aussie stuff. Let's get to the Americano. Let's get to the Americanos. All right. Everyone watching the Oscars, tell me if apparently a good movie won an award. There you go. Riveting coverage by Ping. Hey, come on. There we go. It says Olivet man fatally shoots his mother. We had a couple of mum killings. Fatally shoots his mother who was trying to enter their shared home Thursday. It says Jalen Johnson shot and killed his mother while she was trying to come in through the back door of their home. Let's listen to this. Is that? I just want to double check this is the right video. Hold on.
From Monica's father telling me what happened.
It was a call for
Nope. It says here, an Olivet man was charged with voluntary manslaughter and armed criminal action after fatally shooting his mother Thursday. According to charging documents from the St. Louis County Prosecuting Attorney's Office, 25-year-old Jalen Johnson shot and killed his mother, Monica McNichols Johnson, while she was trying to gain entry to the back of their home in the 9600 block of Huron Drive. It says Olivet police said 56-year-old Monica was found with a gunshot wound. Paramedics tried life-saving measures before she died at the scene, according to the city's press release. Johnson was being held at the St. Louis County Jail on a $100,000 bond. No 10%, police said. What does that mean? That he can't post 10%? That he has to post the full bond? Interesting. I didn't know they could do that. Police said they believe the defendant posed a danger to the community or any other person due to the facts and context of the shooting. It says 5 on Your Side reached out for more details in this case, but police said it's still under investigation. Let me see if I can find it out. Just because they say that doesn't mean we can't find it. Yeah. It says a 25-year-old Missouri man has been charged with shooting and killing his mother as she tried to enter the back door. It says he believed his mother was an intruder when she tried to enter the home in the St. Louis suburb of Olivet. Is it Olivet? Around 7:30 a.m. on Thursday. Apparently, McNichols Johnson died at the scene, even though Johnson's girlfriend tried to help her after she was shot. Goldstein said the 25-year-old Johnson immediately called 911 after he shot his mother, and he has been distraught ever since. He hasn't stopped crying, according to his lawyer. Prosecutors charged Johnson with manslaughter and armed criminal action. His bail was set at $100,000. Wow. What a weird mistake to make, to kill your mum. I don't know how that works. Was he afraid of home invasions in his area? I don't know. Let's have a look. I want to look up the mum's name. See if we can find anything else. We have something from The Guardian. Let me see. They says McNichols Johnson shooting comes less than a year after another shooting in Missouri saw Ralph Yarl, then 16, get shot on April 13th by an 84-year-old Andrew Lester after ringing the wrong doorbell while picking up his siblings. Lester also claimed he believed he was facing an intruder when he fired at the teenager through a glass door. He has pleaded not guilty to the charges of first-degree assault and armed criminal action. The Yale case reignited debate over the lax firearms laws, which make gun owners feel as though they can use their weapons without legal peril to themselves. Missouri has a stand your ground law where people can legally deploy deadly force if they reasonably believe they are at risk of violent attack. I wonder how that will work with the McNichols-Johnson shooting. Apparently she died at the scene, unfortunately, even though first aid was given to her immediately. It says his lawyer also said Johnson kept a gun for protection after being robbed at gunpoint previously. So maybe he was a little paranoid and anxious after being, robbed at gunpoint previously one other time. Where is Dan Yee tonight? He's probably at the Oscars. He's probably been in some movie that needs him to be there for an award. It happens. Juniper says, I desperately want to have a rabbit for a pet, but can't because I live in Queensland. Yeah, you would know all about the no rabbit law, right? Yeah, he looks great in a tuxedo, Dan Yee. He's very famous, you know. Gambler says, I hardly ever watch movies, but watch the Oscars. I think they're the same as the Grammys. There's actors and singers who are likely just as talented that don't have money behind them. Oh yeah, it's a campaigning thing. You got to campaign to win. Oh, Juicy Jules says we have bunnies, deer, raccoons, and wildcats. He was in Barbie. Yeah, he was the guy at the back that had a sign and he was doing a lot of dancing. That was Dan Yee. Look for him. He's the guy in the back. All right, hold on. Campaign to win. That's right. You have to. They spend a lot of money sending out screeners and putting out events and this and that. Oh, wolverines are invasive where you are, Evil Alaska. I never knew that wolverines were such a problem. I'll have to look that up sometime. 1 second, guys. 1 second. Sorry, guys. Needed a drink. JDR says, I'm so busy since I retired. That's an interesting thing. I know someone else who retired last year, and they say they are more busy than when they worked. That is very interesting that you are finding the same thing. Marylander says, Billy Elijah, or do you mean Billie Eilish? One for Song from Barbie. That's interesting. Humans are the invasive ones. Well, maybe. Marlene says, we have groundhogs in farm fields, also live about 50 miles from Groundhog Phil. Oh, yeah. Isn't that the one that tells you if it is going to be a long winter or something? What does he do? If you see a shadow or something, it's going to be a long winter. If he doesn't see a shadow, it's going to be a spring is going to be quicker or something. I can't remember. Okay, I don't know what he does. Is it the same one they've had for like 50 years? Or does the groundhog die and then they just get another one that looks the same and they're like, hey, it's Phil. I've always wondered that. Is it the same one or they just pick up any groundhog and they're like, this is Phil. Yeah, he's a groundhog. Yeah. All right. More stories for your Sunday night. Oh, that's interesting. Actually, we might talk about this. Hold on. All right, let me bring this up.
C-13 is pressing the Harris County Sheriff's Office for answers about a brutal shooting. A 12-year-old boy killed while sleeping in his bed.
Our Liliana Pearson is live outside the Cloverleaf apartment where a memorial is growing. Liliana, what have people stopping by the memorial told you today?
Well, I was able to speak with one woman today. She tells me that she wasn't comfortable going on camera, but she did share just how close-knit this community is and how devastating of a loss it is. She also wondered if there was more that could have been done to save 12-year-old Carlos Fernandez. Today, we did reach out to law enforcement, though they tell us they're not releasing any new information at this time. I called the Harris County Sheriff's Department specifically to try to get the number of times law enforcement may have been called to this address for previous incidents, but I'm told they are not releasing that information at this time. Their homicide team asking them that all information be held back while they investigate. We spoke to neighbors who tell us a history of law enforcement visits to the unit made them nervous that this situation would escalate.
I was saying that something would happen if they don't calm this down.
And to get
Now, this was a couple of weeks ago, and I remember we saw this, and we saw that same guy saying how, like, you know, wait, is this the one from a couple of weeks ago, and this is an update? Hold on, I think I just got myself lost. Just trying to double check. Yeah, I thought this was the same guy. Hold on. Hold on, everyone. Maybe I've just got myself confused. Yeah, HCSO arrests mother. Yeah, mother of suspect accused of murdering
Well, the
ex-son.
Harris County Sheriff is sending out a new plea for help.
It says, mother of suspect accused of murdering ex-son in Cloverleaf area arrested, charged, HCSO says. It says, the mother of a wanted man accused of murdering his former girlfriend's 12-year-old son in the Cloverleaf area was reportedly arrested on Sunday, according to Sheriff Ed Gonzalez. Gonzalez sent out a post on social media stating that Alva Cornejo, I'm probably butchering that, was booked into the Harris County Jail and is charged with a felony offense of hindering apprehension or prosecution. So wanted Terry Brian Rivera. Investigators charged Terry Brian Rivera with capital murder. He should be considered armed and dangerous. Look at that! Look at that skull. That is a chrome dome if I've ever seen one. It says officials did not provide further details as to how her arrest came to be. It says she is the mother of Terry Brian Rivera, who is accused of fatally shooting his ex, Ashley Rostro's son, Carlos Fernandez, on Monday, March 4th. As of Sunday, he remains on the run. The shooting happened at the crossings at Alderson Apartments near Freeport Street just after 3. Yeah, this is one we did last week. According to HCSO, Rivera reportedly came through an unlocked bedroom window where Carlos' little sister, his mother, and his mother's current boyfriend slept. Carlos' mother said he was asleep in the living room, but heard the commotion and ran to the room as Rivera opened fire, hitting him 4 times. Little Carlos was pronounced dead at the scene. He ran in there trying to protect me, his mum said. Rivera was said to have used his ex's gun in the shooting that he reportedly stole from her the previous Friday when he broke into the apartment, attacked her, and held the gun on the woman and her children. It says Rostro said she begged authorities to protect her from her abusive ex, but feels like that didn't happen. Several neighbors witnessed and confirmed the attack. Police also confirmed that Rivera and the woman shared 2 children. Court records reveal extensive violent history, but he pleaded down to lesser charges in each case. The Harris County Sheriff's Office say Rivera was officially charged with capital murder and warned that he should be considered armed and dangerous. Jeez, shot a 4-year-old child. All while you're just trying to be so, aggro about your ex. And instead you killed a child. What world do we live in? Juniper says, Ping, are you going to sign up for membership/Patreon? We can't do any of that until we hit 1,000 subs. It's not something we're able to do on YouTube has certain restrictions until you get to 1,000 subscribers, and we're not quite there yet. But you can use, what's it called? I can never remember. You can use Ko-Fi. We have Ko-Fi set up. Ko-Fi has a membership option. If you go to that, go to the link I just posted in the chat, there is a membership option or like a monthly option. There's two. There's one that's monthly and there's one that's like a membership. So Maria says almost there, 1,000. You will get there. I'm so thankful for everyone that subscribed recently. We've had a bit of a burst of subscribers, and I'm very, very thankful for it. We try to do as many shows as I can per week, including on a lot of weeknights. I do 2 shows a day. The other day we did 3 in a day for Samantha Murphy's arrest. We did 3 live shows in one day. It was like 5 hours of live show. It's great to hear that someone has been arrested over this, but we got to find this guy, Terry Brian Rivera. I mean, do they have like an area where he might be hiding? Hold on. Let me look this up. Terry Brian Rivera. Hold on. This might be something we can use. From KHOU 11.
Information in the murder of a 12-year-old boy. Today, Harris County Sheriff's deputies are calling Carlos Fernandez a hero for his actions on the night he died.
The Sheriff Department is pleading with the public to find the suspect. Here is Terry Brian Rivera. Our Michelle Choi was at the Sheriff's News Conference and has the very latest details. Michelle.
Yeah, Sheriff Ed Gonzalez says his investigators are working around the clock to find Terry Rivera. They believe he is still somewhere here in Harris County and that someone is likely helping him hide. He warned that person could also face charges.
There we go. He's still in the area and someone is hiding him. That's good. That's what we wanted to find out. So he's still in the area. Possibly someone is, harboring a fugitive now charged with capital murder over a 4-year-old. 4. What is going on in the world? Let's listen.
He's still on the run. He's still wanted for capital murder, and we're not going to rest until we find him.
This morning, the family of 12-year-old Carlos Fernandez joined the sheriff as he promised to catch the man who allegedly killed him. According to investigators, Rivera used to date the boy's mother. She shed tears as the family demanded justice for her son.
What we lost is something that's never going to be replaced, and just capturing this guy is just some type of closure for us.
The shooting happened Monday around 3 a.m. at an apartment in the Cloverleaf area on Alderson Street. Initially, investigators said Carlos was sleeping in his bedroom with his 2 younger half-sisters, who were also Rivera's daughters, when Rivera allegedly shot through their open window. Today, the sheriff called Carlos a hero and clarified he was actually sleeping in the living room when he heard noises coming from his siblings' bedroom and ran to check on them.
He ran to the danger. He ran to go check on his sisters, 6 and 7 years old, to protect them. And in some ways he did, because that bullet could have easily injured one of them.
We're told Carlos was shot multiple times and died.
Losing my nephew, that's probably one of the hardest things we've had to deal with. He was the life of the family, always in a good mood, always positive, never seen him mad. He was a protector all the way to the very end.
The sheriff also went into further detail about the family violence incident deputies responded to 48 hours earlier. He says they learned Rivera showed up to the apartment, brandished a gun, and allegedly assaulted Carlos's mom. But by the time deputies arrived, he was gone. He says the DA's office decided not to accept charges at the time, and the investigation was flagged to be followed up. Today, he said he understood the family's frustration.
On our side, we want to review and see how we could do better. If the response could be better.
But for now, their number one priority is to get Rivera off the street.
We're dealing with a cowardly individual who shot a 12-year-old boy while everyone was sleeping inside of an apartment. And we need the public to help bring him to justice.
Rivera is considered armed and dangerous. There is currently a $5,000 reward for information leading to his arrest. If you know anything, call Crime Stoppers. That number is 713-222-TIP.
The NFL's legal tampering.
There you go. Gotta find that guy. Gotta find him. Get him off the effing streets. I mean, what a horrible human being. Lives his life in rage and stupidity, apparently. I mean, thinks he's such a oh, I'm hardcore. Look at my tattoos on my shaved head. You shot a child. You're not much of a hardcore dude. You're a coward. That's what cowards do. Hide behind, false bravado of your tattoos and your shooting of children. There you go. There's a photo of this guy. Get him off the street. You live in the area, live near Harris County. We have a lot of people who live in Harris County. A lot. I know we do. And if you see this guy around, call it in. Call it in. What's the number? it's not here. Hold on. Harris County Sheriffs. Contact us? Yes, I would like to. What's their number? Let's see if it even loads. Okay. If you know where that guy is, you can call 911 emergency, I guess. You can also call 713-221-6000. That's their non-emergency, but I think they'd rather get this guy off the street as a dangerous person. So I'm guessing it's 911. And just tell him where he is. Get his butt into jail. Get his butt into jail. Oh, someone said we're starting at 10, only for tonight. Just for tonight, because of the changeover in US time. Americans lost an hour of sleep, so I wanted to give them a bit more rest. But tomorrow night we'll be back at 9 o'clock, 9 p.m. Eastern time. Diane Marie says, I used to live in Harris County many moons ago. Little, I don't know what little means. Hey, Sherry runs late. How are you? Yeah. Hopefully we all wake up tomorrow morning and we hear this guy is in custody in a jail cell somewhere. Not a 4-year-old. Why do I keep saying 4-year-old? 12-year-old. I don't know why I keep saying 4. I think it was that other story. No, 12. It doesn't matter what age it is. Killed a child that was trying to protect his mum from you. I mean, what a brave little boy. Very brave. Let's move on. So people keep asking about Sebastian. I wish I had something. I really do. I wish I had more information about him. I just wish I did, but I really don't have much. What do I have on Sebastian? Not much. The fact that they did their landfill site search but didn't find anything, and I don't know. I don't know where the search goes this week. What are they going to do this particular week? The last update I can see for anything related to Sebastian was 2 days ago. It's almost like the last weekend over the weekend, we had a lot of stories that came out, like about Sebastian on Saturday and Sunday. The searchers were on. They did different things with that. But this weekend, it's extremely quiet. Very, very quiet about him. The only information I see at the moment is mostly true crime channels doing updates like Bullhorn Betty and 901 and a few others. Oh, this is really, really sad. Hold on, I want to show you this from WSMV4, which is like the local paper which has been covering Sebastian's case. This popped up. It says police chief dies after collapsing at college basketball game. I saw this guy on the news a few times. How sad. It says a Mississippi community is in mourning after the death of police chief who collapsed at a basketball game. The Northeast Mississippi Community College announced the death of 61-year-old police chief Anthony Anderson, who worked for the school for nearly 10 years. Officials said he collapsed at a basketball game Saturday night, according to WTVA. He was rushed to hospital where he later died from natural causes. School officials posted on its Facebook page about the tragedy, saying he will be forever remembered. Chief Anthony Anderson's untimely departure reminds us that even the strongest among us are not immune to life's fragility. His dedication to service, safety, and the community will be deeply missed, but forever cherished in the hearts of those he protected and inspired. Anderson was in his 24th year of law enforcement. He served at the Union County Sheriff's Office and became the Verona Police Chief before being employed as the Northeast Mississippi Community College's police chief. Anderson leaves behind his wife and 3 children. Wow, a life of service. I hope it does not go unnoticed and unappreciated in his community in his death. How horrible. How horrible. Very young, 61. 61. Makes you think. By the way, I know people were looking at this story as well. 7-year-old Iris Crum found safe, mother and stepfather in custody. That is good news. Nice to hear of a child that's not, injured or something like that. It says the TBI revealed a 7-year-old at the center of an Amber Alert was found safe after a days-long search. TBI said Iris Crum, last seen on March 1st in the Blue Fox Trail area, said she was with her non-custodial mother, Kayla Sarita. There you go. On March 10th, the Rutherford County Sheriff's Office said Crum was found safe in League City, Texas. Authorities said Crum appeared as happy as can be after being recovered and was smiling ear to ear as she awaited her dad. WSMV4 spoke with Crum's father, Anthony Crum, who said he was on his way to Texas on Sunday morning to pick up his daughter. They said the mother was wanted for felony child abduction out of California and custodial interference in Tennessee. She is now in custody. Her husband, 33-year-old Ethan, was charged with felony aggravated kidnapping, accessory after the fact, and false report information to officers. He is being held on a $75,000 bond. Wow. Glad they could get her home to her dad. There you go. Good work, Iris. Good work. Back to dad. He did a good job getting you reported and getting you back home. Yeah, you'll be very happy to see your dad. And here's the other one about while we're in Kentucky. No evidence related to
Nearly 2 weeks since the
landfill. So that was a negative. It says search for evidence related to the disappearance of Sebastian Rogers at Kentucky landfill on Thursday yielded negative results, according to the Sumner County Sheriff's Office. While the search for Rogers continues, the search at the Hopkins County, Kentucky landfill is over after exhaustive efforts to find any evidence that would help find the missing 15-year-old with autism, the Sheriff's Office said in a media release. Authorities said no leads or evidence pertaining to Rogers' whereabouts were discovered during the operation. The decision to search the landfill was made in accordance with ongoing investigative efforts and information gathered in the search for Rogers. Sumner County Sheriff Sonny Weatherford told WSMV4 he is hopeful they will still find Rogers and called their investigation a search and rescue operation, but he is concerned it will become a recovery operation if they are not able to get a solid lead soon. That's what they need. They need a solid lead, just something to send them in a direction, any direction. A direction of he's alive and we have to find him still, or something terrible and criminal has happened and we need to find he's over here and we need to go find it. Just some piece of evidence, anything, a lead. I saw X, Y, and Z. He's, I saw him with this person, a car, anything that could help bring him home. Weatherford said they did not have a specific tip that led them to the landfill. that gets trash from Sebastian's neighborhood. Rather, they were just making sure nothing was missed because garbage trucks went through the community between when he was last seen and reported missing. So there you go. I don't know. Hopefully tomorrow, being Monday, we'll get more information on where the investigation into Sebastian goes next. Yes, it is good news. Thank God. Phoenix says, I watched part of Robin's trial this week. I don't think it was actually the son. I was under the impression they believed it was her, who in fact... I don't know if... Did we watch that one? Is that the one we covered last night? Hey, Brenda. Everyone doing okay? I think so. Everyone's adjusting to daylight savings. Is that what everyone's doing today? Either that or watching the Oscars. Maybe that's what they're doing. All right. Hey, Robert Lane. How are you, my friend? It's good to see you. Yeah, they knew who had her. They just had to find her. That's what it was. All right. Let's continue. We covered that one. Okay. Where's our other one? I don't have much on Elijah either. Just that, and I think we covered it the other day, that there was a deleted photo that saw the missing 3-year-old bruised and blindfolded, and that was part of the updated charges, I'm pretty sure. I think we covered that already. So, I mean, we can go over it again if people want to, but it's not something I really want to do unless people are really, really, you know, so it's unless it's something people really have to read again or, you know, something like that. I'm just trying to see if I can find something for you. Where's this bit? So the charges here, I've got the Manitowoc County Clerk of Circuit Court document in relation to Katrina, and I can tell you about her charges, and I can tell you about the probable cause if you want, but I think we've gone over it a bunch. It's only if people really want to waste about 20 minutes of me reading through this, but I mean, if you haven't read this document, I would, and you're interested in the Elijah Vu case, I would suggest have a read through it. It is concerning, and it outlines what kind of life Elijah might have been living at the time, and it's not very pretty. It's not pretty. Yeah, I don't think we're going to do it. We've already done it a few times. I just didn't want to go. Yeah. Yes, 1 hour ahead. All right. Our time is going to change in 3 weeks. In 3 weeks, we're going to come off daylight savings time and we're going to go on to winter time. Right now, we're on summertime. So Australia and America are in the same daylight savings mode right now. In 3 weeks, we come off daylight savings and we go back an hour. So there's this funny little area every year in March, April, and October, November, every year where the time shifts like 3 different times in about a month. So it's a little challenging when you peg your show on an American time. It means we have to, you know, rearrange a lot, unfortunately. But hey, that's just what we do, and we just got to make do. All right. Let's read about this one. All right. No Elijah. Let's not worry about that. Hopefully, more information about Elijah tomorrow. They will do a press conference on Monday. I just don't know if we're going to get much of it or it'd be interesting. Where is our next story? Okay. Did we read this one yesterday? I just want to double check. Yeah, we read this one on last night's show. I just want to see if there's an update to this. Last night, I brought you this story. A man was charged with manslaughter on Friday after an 18-year-old was shot and killed in Bradenton last week, according to Manatee County Sheriff's Office. Deputies say Reginald Fields died at a local hospital after being shot while inside a parked car on March 1st. Now, we covered this last night, and I just want to see if there's an update on Jabari Burney. Let's hold on. Where is that? He was charged with investigators. See, witnesses told investigators Field was inside a parked vehicle with other people when the handgun went off. After an extensive investigation, detectives say 18-year-old Jabari Burney was charged with manslaughter. Investigators say Burney was playing with a handgun when the weapon fired and caused Fields fatal injuries. The case is still being investigated. Yes, that's why I wanted to see if we had an update on this. No, it seems like they haven't released a new update for this at all. Just that guy was charged. Yeah, just that Jabari Burney was charged with manslaughter on Friday. Yeah, the investigation is ongoing. Okay, they haven't released an update for that one. That's a shame in a way. All right. Oh, that's a good one. Tip line for Elijah Vu is 844-267-6648. I hope someone brings a tip in where they can find him. Actually, I'll leave that on the screen. All right. You guys think about tips for Elijah, and I'm going to go get a new story. Actually, hold on. Do we have anything new about Rebecca or Rebecca Byler? Suspects Sean C. Cranston. No, really, nothing about the pregnant Amish woman after the arrest of Sean C. Cranston, 52. Really not a lot of information after they arrested him, has there? I don't think we've seen much. What about this? It says new details were revealed in the killing of... Yeah. It says guns, broken
We are
knife
learning new
parts
details.
found in home where pregnant Amish woman was killed. It says police investigating the killing of a pregnant Amish woman inside her Pennsylvania home last week recovered 3 firearms, bullets, and 2 spent casings, as well as broken knife parts, according to an inventory made public on Tuesday. State police documents said the search of the house where Rebecca A. Byler was killed on February 26 produced the broken orange handle of a knife, a broken knife blade, and a bone-handled knife. Investigators also took a white bonnet and the contents of an ashtray, trash can, and dustbin. The man, who lived about 8 miles from Byler's home in northwestern Pennsylvania, was charged Saturday with criminal homicide, homicide of her unborn child, burglary, and criminal trespass. Police have not disclosed what they think may have motivated Sean C. Cranston to kill her in the living room where her husband and a family friend found her. It's unclear from the search inventory if any of the items belonged to Cranston or were used in the killing, which police have said involved shooting her in the head and or slashing her throat. They include a .22 caliber rifle, 2 shotguns, and a variety of ammunition. Investigators also recovered a .22 caliber cartridge case and a 6.5 Creedmoor casing, both discharged. Cranston remains in Crawford County Correctional Facility without bail. No defense attorney has appeared in court records, and the County Public Defender's Office said it was not representing him. Family members have not answered phone calls seeking comment on his behalf. Police said 23-year-old Rebecca, whose 2 children were home but unhurt, suffered wounds to her neck and head. Cranston's cousin, Rebecca Cranston of Erie, said Tuesday that Cranston was a native of the Corey area and worked as a truck driver. She said she had fallen out of touch with him in recent years and that many of his relatives knew nothing about the allegations. They said, "We're just in shock and sending out prayers for the victim." It says Sean Cranston's next-door neighbor, Chris Knight, said he was a respectful neighbor who often rode motorcycles. His wife is a nurse. Knight said that in recent months, Cranston's pickup truck was no longer parked at the home. The Cranstons seemed to be down to one vehicle, a red Jeep. It seemed like he's been home a lot, but I don't know what the situation is, Knight said. Interesting. That's interesting. I had a mental blank about a case we were following a couple of weeks ago, and I was going to... I hope we get more information about, the situation surrounding his misidentification of that property and why he felt like he had to go there. It says here, by the way, a bit of a trigger warning. It says the pregnant Amish woman killed in her rural Pennsylvania home last week was found lying in a pool of blood with her throat slashed and scalping wounds. Why would he try to scalp her? How does that work? What do you think she was, a deer? It's very brutal and very, not needed. It's overkill. Just think if there's any information here. Not really, just that little tidbit at the top. He really, really was aggressive to her. Like, it wasn't like he just opened the door and accidentally fired one shot and killed her. He was really angry and really wanted to harm this poor pregnant woman. I mean, I can't imagine what her last few moments on life are like. She would have been terrified. She would have had no idea who this guy was that's barged through her door and is hurting her. And she's probably just thinking of her 2 children in the other room. And she's like, all I want to do is protect my kids. And, geez, this guy, it's frustrating when we see stories like that. It really is. There's no need for him to be there. Just looking up one of the cases we covered last... We have an update. It's not breaking news, but we have an update. Okay. I want to show you this. Remember we talked about the body parts? We're going to see an update. The body parts in Babylon, New York. Let's get an update on that.
Court appearance today for 2 people charged in a gruesome case on Long Island. It comes as controversy grows over 2 other suspects being released on bail. CBS News' Natalie Duttridge is live at court in Central Islip with much more. Natalie.
Good morning, Cindy and Mary. Yes, 2 of the accused are scheduled to appear here in court at 9:30 this morning. They are currently out on bail and being monitored with ankle bracelets. In total, 4 people have been charged in this case. It all started last week when body parts were first found in Suffolk County. Police believe the remains belong to a 53-year-old man and a 59-year-old woman. Now, 2 of the accused who will be appearing in court today are 33-year-old Alexis Nieves and 38-year-old Jeffrey Mackey. Perinelli. On Monday, we'll see the two others accused, 44-year-old Stephen Brown and 40-year-old Amanda Wallace. All four are charged with tampering with evidence and concealing a human corpse. All pled not guilty. And prosecutors say 3 of the 4 shared a home in Amityville, and we spoke to the defense attorney for one of the suspects.
He didn't kill anybody, and as far as I can see from the get-go, this case is based upon a lot of assumptions.
We need to make sure that people charged with serious crimes have to post bail or spend time in jail.
And these charges, which do not include murder, mean supervised release for the suspects. And many officials and members of the public are questioning and frustrated with the state's bail laws. There are also many questions about who the victims are, their relationship to the suspects, as well as the motive. In Long Island, Natalie Duddridge, CBS 2 News.
Natalie, thank you.
That's why I want to bring in Michael Malazchuk. He is the digital editor of the Long Island Press, and I am so glad you're here. I sense, though, Michael, you might be as confused as I am about this weird story. Amityville Horror, I don't even know if you're old enough to have gone through the terror that the rest of us all went through.
Stupid thing. Hold on, let me close down some of this. It's got to the point where I can't find anything because I've got like 500 tabs open. Hold on, guys. Let me close down some of this because I literally couldn't find that video. All right. There we go. That is a very crazy case. Those body parts. I'm going to show you suspects. Yep. It says, as suspects in Long Island body parts case remain free, critics urge bail reform law change. Yeah. I mean, how do you get away with that? It says, 2 of the 4 people arrested in connection with body parts belonging to a man and woman found on Long Island were back in court Friday, but were still not behind bars, a move that has led to intensified calls for bail law changes. It says neither Jeffrey Mackey nor Alexis Neves would speak to reporters today after their brief court appearance. Both remain free without bail, each wearing GPS monitors in order to remain in Suffolk County for now, after being charged with hindering prosecution, tampering with physical evidence, and concealment of a human corpse. Unfortunately, with the news of Samantha Murphy this week, we sort of didn't catch up on this for a couple of days. It's brutal. It says 4 housemates were arrested and released in Long Island body parts case. It says also facing the same charges are 44-year-old Stephen Brown, 40-year-old Amanda Wallace. All 4 shared the same Amityville home on Railroad Avenue, but the lawyer for Mackey on Friday shared that his client and Neves were more than just housemates. My client is in a relationship with her. I'm not sure about the other defendants. Sources have told NBC New York that a love triangle could be the motive for the killing, but so far no one has been charged with murder, and Mackey's lawyer said the case is set to go before a county grand jury, which could add more serious charges. Well, you'd hope so. Otherwise, how do body parts just end up scattered across New York? It says here a defense lawyer for Brown previously said his client did not kill anyone and did not take part in any of this. None faced murder charges, though court documents stated that the 4 suspects removed sharp instruments, multiple body parts, and other related items from the house in an effort to conceal a murder. An assistant district attorney alleged the quartet went to barbaric lengths to cover up the killings, with police removing meat cleavers and butcher knives from the home. Until more serious charges are filed, all 4 will stay free without bail. Okay. A fact that has led public condemnation of New York's bail reform laws. Wow. Currently, it's not an offense in which a judge can impose bail, which is why the 4 defendants had to be released after their arrests. How do 4 individuals who brutally cut up 2 human beings under any circumstances walk free? That's State Senator Alexis Weeks said. Apparently on Thursday, Governor Kathy Hochul blamed the Suffolk County District Attorney for the defendant's release, saying he should have charged the 4 with bail-eligible crimes. Maybe the DA should have done more thorough investigation and brought murder charges, conspiracy to commit murder, or even assault charges because all of them are bail eligible, she said. Yeah, that's true. Interesting. I'm just trying to see something here. Apparently, the victims' names have not been released, though both have been identified by law enforcement, police say. One was a 59-year-old woman, the other was a 53-year-old man. It is believed that the two victims lived together, with their last known address in Yonkers, according to Suffolk County Police. It was unclear when they last lived there, however. Wow, this is the weirdest case. I'm sure it's gripping New York right now. I can't believe we missed the arrest day. It must have been when we were dealing with Samantha Murphy's stuff, unfortunately. So we have to catch up a little bit. It says 4 people have been arrested in connection with the discovery of body parts belonging to a man and woman from Yonkers, who sources have said may be involved in a love triangle. Wow. All 4 were charged with hindering prosecution. Wow, what a case this is.
On Long Island, investigators are eyeing a love triangle as a possible motive in the gruesome body parts case, the killer scattering body parts of the victims across the island. Investigators spotted today serving a search warrant in Amityville. Police confirming more human remains were found today in Bethpage and West Babylon. Now police say the victims were a man and woman from Yonkers. News 4's Greg Sergel live in Amityville with the latest at this hour. Greg.
Natalie, it's been just 5 days since a group of high school students first stumbled on a human arm in a park in Babylon Village. And today it appears Suffolk police have taken a major step toward resolving this gruesome mystery. Suffolk police were still going through a 2-family home in Amityville this morning after first executing a search warrant there Monday night.
There was like a crime lab truck and a whole command center.
Neighbor Chip Clark saw the police activity, a raid that was part of the investigation into the discovery of human remains in Babylon Village last week.
It's my home, so it's shocking.
Stephanie Leckie lives in an apartment in the home that police raided. She didn't see anyone arrested, but sources tell News 4 at least one person has been taken into custody. Those sources also say investigators suspect a love triangle was the motive behind the murders of a man and woman. Their body parts were found last Thursday and Friday, scattered around Babylon Village's Southards Pond Park.
My parents live in Babylon right by Southards Pond, so yeah, that's intense.
No body parts were found at the Amityville home today, but police say remains were discovered in Bethpage State Park and in a wooded area in West Babylon. Those remains match those found last week. The victims are said to be a 59-year-old woman and a 53-year-old man, both from Yonkers.
All right, we're going to keep a closer eye on that as that progresses. I can't believe they haven't brought murder charges for this. I can't believe it. I will keep a close eye on this case for the next couple of weeks and see if we can find anything else about Stephen Brown, Jeffrey Mackey, and Alexis Neves and Amanda Wallace. Amanda Wallace, that sounds really familiar for some reason, and I don't know why. But yes, I will keep an eye on this. Someone asked in chat, do we have an update about the Kansas City Chiefs fans who were found dead in the yard? Not really. There hasn't been anything new from police in a few weeks, and I'll show you this article. It says, Dad of deceased Chiefs fans hasn't heard anything new from police in over a month. It seems like the investigation is sort of at a bit of an impasse right now, and no one's really heard of anything right now. It says, as a family awaits answers, Harrington notes he's also been fairly skeptical about the theories some people have surrounding the deaths of David, Ricky, and Clayton. Police tell people that it's still a death investigation and that there have not been any significant updates to provide at this time. So nothing new at this time with regards to those men's death. maybe we'll get something new in the next few weeks. Marlene says horrible things have happened on Long Island. At this point, you have to just assume that Long Island is haunted. It must be. I mean, ghost hunters must all come from Long Island. They have to, because there's been so many crazy things that have happened on that island. It really has. I think we're just about to wind up for the night, guys. I really appreciate you all. It's been a great Sunday show, and we'll be back tomorrow 9 p.m. Eastern, which is an hour earlier than for me each night. But that's okay. I do what I can to make sure we have like the same thing every night. So we'll be back tomorrow night, 9 p.m. with more. I reckon we're going to have a whole rush of updates. Every time it's Monday morning, we get like 400 million updates. It's a little slow on a Sunday, but I'm committed to always doing the Sunday show to give people a place to go on a Sunday night. Because there's not a lot of live shows on the Sunday. A lot of creators don't do them. They have the day off, so. Brooklyn Mom says, I've lived on Long Island almost all my life and it's fine except for recently. Just recently. Thank you, Marlene. I appreciate it. Nanalana, Siana, Potter, and Laura T. I appreciate it. By the way, I want to thank Kelly Dragonborn. I will look into those things that you mentioned. Kelly was saying that maybe some of the traits that we see from Sebastian are just typical autism things that, seem contradictory to us, but to a kid with autism, it's just normal life. So I have to do some more research into that and find out a bit more about it. But thanks, Kelly, for leaving that comment last night. I do appreciate it. And so glad that you watched the show. I know that's on a weird time for you. So, but yes, we're off. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday if you have any Sunday left, and maybe you'll get to watch the rest of the award show. But that's it from me, and then 9 p.m. tomorrow. Okay, we'll see you then. I love you all. Have a great Monday. Be productive and no Monday-itis. Okay, no Monday-itis for no one. All right. Good night, everyone. Get some sleep. Okay. See you tomorrow. 9 o'clock.